Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Addo Aesthetics, the #1 coaching company for aesthetic professionals wanting to step into the role of spa CEO and build a business around a life you love. And today, we are doing something fun, something exciting, something new for 2022. And I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to up-level the value that we're already providing over in our Spa Marketing Made Easy in our free Facebook group. So here's the deal. Once a month, I'm going to be doing a training via Facebook Live right into the group, but it's not going to be a short or an impromptu training. This is actually mapped out. We've got the trainings mapped out for the entire year on topics we know are going to help you build your business. And we're actually going to be using each of those trainings as episodes for the podcast. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win because we're actually leveraging our time, creating content for the podcast, but doing it in a way that's providing additional value for you. So of course, you can hear the podcast. You can hear these on your podcast app. But if you want to hear them live about a month before they show up on the podcast, plus be able to interact with me and ask me questions, then you want to make sure that you're a member of the group. And that's the cool thing. Like, we do so many trainings on this podcast, so many like step-by-step, do this, do that. I know that there are people that have questions. We get emails, we get comments, we get all kinds of things. And doing it this way, you can ask me in real time your questions, right? So we feel like that's a super cool way to provide value and also make the best use of our time. Now, we actually had someone post in the group that they get more business knowledge and resources in our free group than they had in other people's paid programs. If that tells you anything about how much support, how many resources, how many good things we have for spa owners wanting to build their business over in that group. And again, it is totally free. So next month's training is going to be live in the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group. It's going to be on February 8th, 2022 at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be answering the question, how do you know when you're ready to hire? And I know a lot of spa owners are asking themselves that question this year. So if that's you, if you're saying, oh, am I ready yet? Is that something that I want to do? I want you to mark your calendar because that's going to be a great episode, okay? But today, what we're talking about, we're actually sharing a Facebook Live that I did in the free group earlier this month, all about creating a social content strategy for your business. And it's not just, here's an editorial calendar. We really zoom out and take a higher level view to make sure that your messaging is in alignment with your offerings, right? So with social media for brick and mortar, for spa, what we're doing is trying to turn those likes into clients. We're focusing on building up a local clientele of people that we can serve in our business, right? If you have a different business model, if you're serving the entire, continental US or you have a global market, great. But the majority of our listeners are brick and mortar spa, and that means that we want to get people typically within a 10-mile radius of our physical location. And so that takes a very different strategy, okay? So we're really taking a higher level view of what are our offerings? How can we get crystal clear on our ideal client? How can we create content that's going to serve our existing clients and attract new clients? So we're really talking about that strategy for the entire year. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you find value. And I really look forward to seeing you guys in the group. Now, just one more thing before we jump into the training. If you are enjoying these podcasts, if you are enjoying the trainings and the other free resources that we offer on the show, could you please head on over to iTunes and leave us an honest review? It really does mean the world to us. And it's such a great way that you can support us in our mission to elevate the spa industry as a whole. So thank you so much for that in advance. And let's go ahead and play that episode. Hey guys, Daniela here. Happy New Year. Super excited to be here. and talking about creating a social content strategy for the year. This is something that, typically we're doing the probably October, November, the year before. But if you haven't done it, there's no better time than right now. So what we're going to be doing in the next 20 minutes or so is really walking through how to create this for yourself so that your social media actually works for you. And when I say your social media works for you, it means that you have local followers, clients that can become clients on your books, right? We don't care about having a bunch of people like and follow our pages if they can't potentially become clients in our spas. That is the ultimate purpose of social media. And that is what I want to help you map out how you're going to make that work in the coming year. Okay. So when we start, the first thing that you need to do is to get clear on the promotions that you're going to be offering throughout the year. Okay. So you may be a spa that does monthly promotions. You may be a spa that offers membership. And if you're offering membership, that is the promotion. So each month you're going to be focusing on getting new members. You may not offer promotions. You may just simply have an educational push where you're talking about chemical peels, or you're talking about microneedling or whatever service. And you're really just focusing on bringing awareness to your spa to try and get phone calls and, click that booking button on your social media. So you still want to get super clear on what those promotions are going to be and when. And the way that we do this is we have a spreadsheet. So on the left-hand column going up and down, it says yearly mission, quarterly focus, monthly focus. And then from side to side on the spreadsheet, it's January, February, March, April, May. Okay. You can, if you're a pen and paper kind of person, feel free to just map this out with a pen in your notebook, in your journal, use a whiteboard, whatever you want to do. But say, okay, our yearly mission is, it's typically revenue, right? So you want to say, hey, we want to make X amount of money this year. Our quarterly focus, maybe you're launching a membership. Maybe you are launching an e-com store. Maybe you want to hire somebody. Maybe you want to onboard your spa manager, right? There's going to be kind of like a bigger overarching project that you work on. And that's both of those are internal. Sometimes they can be external, but it's for you just to plan on like, hey, what am I actually working on this year, this quarter, this month, this week, to make sure that I'm reaching my goals. And then when you have your promotion, it'll be under there. So something that works really well, if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't think of any ideas. How do I even figure out what those promotions are going to be? A lot of times what works is just going with the theme of what's going on in the year. So in January, there's a lot of new year, new you, right? We do a lot of chemical peels because it's winter. So thinking about that type of theme. February, there's Valentine's Day. March, it's, March Madness, it's spring. In April, we have Easter. We also have spring. In May, there's Mother's Day. In June, there's Father's Day. In July, there's Independence Day. We sometimes see Christmas in July, right? So think about just month by month, what's going on each month. You may have a back to school. You may have, pumpkin spice. You may have Black Friday, right? Like there's all these different things that happen each month. And so mapping out what is it that is that I can theme or focus a specific promotion on. And let me tell you, spending an hour to really map this out is going to be so well worth your time, because when we just had Black Friday this past Thanksgiving, there were so many spa owners that were like, oh, I just kind of threw something together because I felt like I needed to do it because it was Black Friday. This is your opportunity to not repeat that again if that was you, which, no shame. Like there's so much going on in running a business. But if you say, this is 2022, this year I want to do better, I want to go bigger, I want to grow my business, I want to scale, you've got a plan. And blocking out that time for you to act as the CEO in your company, this is part of it. This is a CEO activity, understanding what are we going to focus on? How can we have a well thought out promotional plan to really make our social content work for us? Okay. So step one, understanding what you're going to promote and when. Okay. Now, what are you going to talk about? Right. So this is when you get into the editorial calendar. And this is what really helps you. And this is what we teach inside of Post with Purpose. We've taught this over the years quite a bit, but having these content buckets, and content buckets can be testimonials, before and afters, promotional posts, skincare tips, behind the scenes, your core values. There's so many. You may have like more educational posts, depending on who you are. What your brand is about. There's so much. When we look at core values, like our company has 5 different core values. Like there's such a wide variety of how you can showcase a core values post. You can also have a team post if you have a team where you're highlighting different members of your team and the products that they like or the treatments that they like or anything like that, right? So what I want you to do next is then understand, okay, so my editorial calendar, I'm going to commit to posting 5 days per week on Instagram. Okay. And you may say, here's my editorial calendar for the feed post. Here's my editorial calendar for stories. Because it may be easier to have 2 different editorial calendars for the sub platforms on Instagram. And then you're going to say, okay, well, if it's New Year, New You, and I'm talking about chemical peels, and Monday we do testimonials, I'm going to pull 8 testimonials, or excuse me, I'm going to pull 4 testimonials about chemical peels, right? There's 4 Mondays in the month. So I'm going to look through and I'm going to pull those. Then when I look at before and afters, if there's 4 Tuesdays in the month, I'm going to pull 4 before and after pictures of people getting chemical peels and put those in there for promotional post. Promotional can be so many different types of things. It can be specific, like here's a graphic with your offer, or it can be, a picture of you talking about your own skincare journey and then sharing what your offer is in the copy, right? So you get the idea of where I'm going with this. So it's giving you the idea of what you're going to post and when, helping you to create that. Now, there is a law called Parkinsons Law, and it says work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. You could spend 40 hours a week doing social media. You absolutely could. It is with reels, with stories, with all the things that change. There is so much time that you could spend doing this. But my personal belief, as working with spa owners, the spa owner's job is not to be a social media manager, right? You want to be the CEO. And so if you're in a position where you're not able to hire someone to do social media yet, you want to dedicate and say, I have X amount of time available for social media, and here is how I'm going to make sure that my business doesn't lack, because we always can do better, right? There's always going to be somebody doing better than you. There's always going to be somebody doing worse than you. But you want to make sure that you're consistent and that you're providing quality content that aligns with what the ultimate purpose of your business is. And that is to build relationships with existing clients and attract and gain new clients into your business. Okay. So make sure that you are setting an amount of time that's dedicated for you to work on social media, whether that is creating posts. And look, guys, here's something that makes your life super easy. If you hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines, we've had incredible luck. We love our Filipino VAs. You can create templates in Canva. They don't have to be the world's greatest graphic designer to go ahead and create this piece for you, right? So keep that in mind. If you're saying I'm dedicating, an hour a week to social media for content creation, and then I'm going to do 15 minutes a day for engagement, so that you can have extra time to work with your clients or build and scale the business, Just make sure that you're honoring those boundaries that you're creating for yourself. Okay. So I had mentioned earlier having these editorial calendars specifically for Insta stories and for the Insta feed. I would definitely map out whatever platforms you're going to be using, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, whatever you're using. I would stick with Instagram if it were me, and then also Facebook. But really, Instagram is where the majority of our clients are at right now. So one of the reasons that we are creating a social strategy in the first place is to make sure that our messaging is right. Like we're posting on social, not just grabbing our phones and saying, oh man, I didn't post anything today. Let me find something completely random to post just because I need to post something. We're driving people to whatever our promotion is, but we want to make sure that we are getting in front of the right people. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because I really want this to be drilled into your brain as you're writing and creating content. The copy, the little caption that you're going to write on the post or the images that you're going to share, they are not for you. They're for your ideal client, right? So you're using social media as a way to communicate with who that person is. How you write and the images you share for a 40-year-old mom of two that lives in the suburbs versus a 20-something single career woman living in Manhattan is two totally different things, okay? So we need to get crystal clear on who our ideal client is and what we're trying to communicate as the core values of our business, what we're about, how we serve our people, and who our people are. We want to be so incredibly clear on who they are so that we are speaking their language. One of the things that we do that I love, when we came up with our brand story statement of what it is that we do, we asked our clients, what do you think we do? We wanted to get their words. And that line in there where we say we transform solo estheticians into spa CEOs, we go from chaotic to confident. That chaotic to confident came directly from one of our students. So that for me, like do that with your clients. Ask what the experience is with your spa. What is it like to have a treatment there, to have a service there, to be a client? Get their language, use their words of your ideal client to put that into your own messaging. So there are a couple of misconceptions around content creation, and I want to just share those because I know that you'll see a lot of Instagram experts and different people saying, oh, it's about posting 80 times a day, right? Like you just need so much content. And even like Brendan Burchard, who's very well known, very well respected in the space. He's coached Oprah. He's like just very, very well respected in the online digital marketing space. He posts 5 times a day on Facebook, and he's very open about that. And the thing is, like, you don't have to do that to be able, he has an online business. His audience is nationwide. It's very different for brick and mortar. We are focusing on who are the clients in this radius of a physical location that we can serve, right? There are some caveats if it's like, hey, I'm doing an online store, I am opening e-com, I'm working on getting people all over the country. That's one thing. But for most of us with a brick and mortar location, we're trying to get new clients. We really need to be consistent in what we're posting. And we need to make sure that we're providing value and speaking directly to our ideal client, speaking their language. Now, I personally, to make sure that you're sticking with the boundaries that you set for yourself as far as the time allotment that you're going to be spending on social media, I also recommend just sticking with Facebook and Instagram to begin with, unless you have a team that you can say, hey, they're going to handle this. Facebook and Instagram and Instagram first is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Now, I'm going to add in a couple of bonus tips here as you're looking at your content strategy for the year. Please, please, please do not participate in the daisy chains of follow me, let's show support for one another. I know those are done with such great intention, and it's very sweet to see other business owners wanting to support one another, but that messes up your algorithm in such a big way. So what's that saying to Instagram is if you get a bunch of estheticians that are following you, is that you're trying to serve estheticians. Now, if you're me, that's great, right? I should be following every one of those daisy chains and being like, follow me, follow me. But as a brick and mortar spa, you want local clientele to follow you. You do not want other estheticians following your business page because that is going to screw up your algorithm. Okay. So really focus on that. Let the ego piece of it go. We do not need to look at vanity metrics. Okay. We're focusing on revenue in the bank. So I know it can be like, oh my gosh, I only have X amount of followers, right? And I need to have more followers. It is the engagement and the relationship that's being built that is going to really make the difference in your business. So try to really focus on those pieces. Now, when people do have an algorithm that's messed up, that Instagram is confused on who to show your content to, because remember, Instagram is showing a very, very low percentage of your content to the people that actually follow you, right? So to help train Instagram, we have to do a couple of things. So number one, we need to make sure that our hashtags are done appropriately. So a lot of times as estheticians, we'll do hashtag esthetician life or hashtag, something about aesthetics. And that is attracting other estheticians. We are the only ones that search for those hashtags. Okay. So what hashtags are doing is basically giving SEO data to Instagram. What is this post about? Who should I show this post to? Right. So right now you have 30 hashtags that you can use. We recommend using all of them. We actually have a free training inside of we have a free resource portal, and there's a training on hashtags that Danielle, our social media manager, did to walk through like what are the blocks. And she has a 10-10-10 breakdown based on location, the service that you're doing, of how you actually create your hashtags and do your hashtag cloud. So be sure to check that out in our free resources portal if you're unclear about hashtags. But you do still want to keep using them. That is one of the major ways that Instagram is understanding how to calculate your actual algorithm. Okay. And the third thing that confuses Instagram is you may not be creating a wide enough diversity of content. So if you're using Instagram, they want you to use all of the sub platforms. So Instagram has Reels and Stories and IGTV and the regular feed and carousel posts and video and all of that, right? So as you're coming up with your editorial calendar, you want to make sure that you're also diversifying, that maybe your promotional post is going to be a reel, and maybe your skincare tip is going to be a carousel post, so really looking at things in that manner. Okay, so what else? Let me just take a look at my notes here. Yes, so my last little note that I had was what I just said, maximize the media platforms, the media formats of each platform. So making sure that you're using the profile feed, stories, reels, IGTV, lives, right? All of those different types of things are going to help you get seen. So let me just do a quick recap here. Number one, create your promotional calendar for what you are going to be promoting throughout the entire rest of the year. Then I want you to create your editorial calendar of, if you're going to do that for Instagram stories and then for the Instagram feed. What is the content bucket that you're going to be creating? Then when you go in to create your social media in your blocked out time, your designated time that you're going to be doing that, you say, all right, here's my templates that I already have in Canva. Here's how I know what my promotion is, how I can create my content and do it in a fast manner. It's going to save you so much time. It's going to make your messaging so much more on point. And you're never going to have those last minute oh my gosh, I've got to get something on social media now. It'll make your promotions go bigger and better because there's a longer runway. You're building up the desire for what that specific promotion is. So I hope that this helps. I hope you enjoyed this training. This is something that we're going to be doing every single month. So you'll actually hear this on the podcast, but if you are in the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group, you get to be here live. You get to hear this ahead of time. You get to ask me questions. So it's going to be an awesome, awesome year. All right, guys, thanks so much, and I'll talk with you soon.